Thousands of people are now using these techniques to grow many fruits at their homes. Welcome back to the channel. Strawberries are such a delicious fruit, and it is enjoyed in every part of the world. Its production has seen a rapid increase in recent years due to modern techniques. Now you can even produce this fruit using minimal resources. Here's an easy beginner method for growing strawberries at home. Step 1. Extracting the seeds. Strawberries are a fruit of the spring or summer season, but depending upon the region's climate, it may vary. Nowadays, greenhouse and other techniques have allowed year-round production of the fruit, but people are now using simpler techniques to grow strawberries at home. Considering that strawberries take around 5 to 6 months to fully develop, one has to be extremely patient in this process. You might have to buy strawberries from the store for the first time, and you can use your own yield for the next batch. Fruits containing black or brown seeds are optimal for growing. The seeds need to be extracted from the fruit, so peel away the skin without cutting into the flesh of the strawberry. In this way, you can obtain the seeds from the fruit without damaging them. Once you've peeled the skin off the strawberry, use a paper towel and lay the cut-out skins on them. Place them in direct sunlight and leave them there for 3 days. The temperature and direct rays will melt the skin and any adhering flesh, leaving the seeds stuck on the paper towel. Once the skins have melted completely, you can extract the seeds by gently rubbing on the towel and letting the seeds drop into a clean and opaque container. Step 2. Seed sowing. Seed sowing is a simple process that requires substantial resources for proper growth. One has to wait for even a month to get the desired results in this process, but it's not so fragile. Once you have extracted the seeds from the fruit, you need to clean them up and prepare for sowing. For this step, you need a plant pot of medium size so that the seeds have adequate room for their initial budding. Ensure that the pot has holes in the bottom, as this will allow water to drain after reaching the bottom. If the pot is solid, the water may turn stagnant inside, causing the plants to never grow. To prevent the soil from falling through the holes, you can cover them up using stones of moderate size to cover the gaps. The water will drain out even if the stones cover up the holes. The soil may vary in different parts of the world, as different companies are involved in creating artificial soil everywhere. However, a mixture of 70% cocoa peat with 30% compost works extremely well in this case, but you can experiment with a number of different products in several pots. The ones that provide good growth in the quickest time can be your preferred choice in the next yield. You can also mix a tablespoon of fungicide powder to avoid the rotting problems. Although it's a limited field, other organisms can still harm your crop, so using fungicides can be helpful. After creating the optimum mixture, put it inside the pot and pat it down with your hand to even it out. Sprinkle the seeds over the soil in a uniform manner to allow sufficient space for individual seeds to sprout. Provide the seeds with water using a sprinkler or shower, and this process should be gentle, or the seeds could start floating due to the slow drainage. Use a plastic wrap to cover the pot up. In this way, the moisture inside will remain constant, providing the seeds an adequate environment to start their growth in. Step 3. Transplantation. Germination is one of the earliest processes that takes sufficient time, which may be 20 to 35 days at most. So patience is important, and you should not do anything in haste, such as removing the wrap completely to look at the process. This will disrupt the environment, altering the growth of the plants and taking longer than usual. Once the germination has started, you can remove the wrap and notice the small buds coming out of the soil. There are plenty of other organisms growing in the soil, close to your crops as well. You can leave them in there for a few more days, so they can grow firmer roots that are good enough for transplantation. When the seedlings have grown 1 to 2 centimeters, you can remove them from the first pot. Use small individual pots to provide each seedling space for growth. You can use the same mixture for the sowing process for these small pods. Create a small hole in the pod using your finger and plant the seedling in the center. Provide adequate water to the plant and leave it for a few days until it grows a few true leaves. Plants that are 5 to 6 centimeters in size with 3 to 4 true leaves are now ready for the second transplantation. You can use significantly larger pots in this process, preferably 6 to 8 inches in diameter. Use stones in the bottom as before for water drainage. The best mixture for this case is 50% garden soil, 30% compost, and 20% cocoa peat, but you're welcome to experiment with whatever soil you have available. After mixing the 3 soils, use them to fill up the pots and pat down with your hand to create an even surface. The process of extracting young plants is extremely fragile. Disrupting the roots will prevent further growth of the plant and cause problems. Therefore, use a gardening tool to extract the plants from the pods. Make sure to keep their root ball intact for good results. Place these plants in the new pots with their root balls by creating a hole in the center, and make sure the plant's crown is planted above the soil surface. Use your fingers to strengthen the soil around the roots for maximum support, and it's better to use one pot per plant for better room. Once the transplantation is complete, water the plants to provide even more support and adequate absorption medium to the roots. Place the pots in direct sun, as these plants require 5 to 7 hours of direct sunlight, and the optimum temperature for their growth is 8 to 24 degrees Celsius. Water the pots whenever the soil starts to look dry, as the crops continuously need water in such conditions. You can add fertilizer after every 18 to 20 days to provide additional nutrients and boost the plant's growth. For this purpose, you can use mustard cake powder or any other fertilizer that seems appropriate. Make a hole away from the plant, pour the fertilizer inside, and cover it up again. To prepare the fertilizer, you can mix half tablespoon in 2 liters of water, and add 100 milliliter mix in one go. If you're enjoying this video, like and comment below. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for more great videos. Now let's continue. Step 4. Harvest. The plant grows substantially in size and bears numerous fruit and flowers. It takes around 120 to 160 days for the plant to grow from the budding phase to a normal-sized strawberry plant. The fruit appears sometime after the flowers start to open, but they grow quickly in size. Once the fruits have blossomed, it will only take them 3 to 4 weeks to be ready for the harvesting process. The strawberries are initially green in color and smaller in size, but eventually grow to be larger and red in color. The fruits that turn red have to be plucked immediately from the plant by pulling at the stem gently. With excessive force, the fruit can be damaged, and even the plant could die due to damage at the roots. Be careful to extract the fruits as soon as they turn red, or strawberries sitting on the soil for too long will rot. Another problem with these plants is avoiding bird infestation, as they're kept in the open. Birds can easily get to these plants and eat their fill, leaving you with nothing to harvest. To protect your crops from such birds, you can install netting that should be a lightweight material. A netting made from steel could put sufficient weight on the plant and cause more trouble. Once you have extracted the strawberries, you can either use the seeds for the next batch or use them for your purposes. That's the end of the video. Strawberries are a seasonal fruit, and growing them in non-favorable conditions might not provide good results. But these techniques have allowed people to grow strawberries at their home, with better results. In this way, these people are also saving substantial amounts of money.